It's Soup Sunday, y'all, and you can count on me. So yeah, I'm gonna do chicken noodle soup today, and I probably do it a little bit different than your grandma did it, but I'm gonna do it the way that I think is best. I had yesterday. I like grilled a couple whole chickens over wood, natural wood, and so I've got some of that left over. I've got stock that I made from the necks and the backbones and the gizzards, and I'm gonna put it together and I'm gonna make some chicken noodle soup. So here we have the players: celery, onion, carrot, parsley, some of that pulled chicken. This is mostly dark meat with a little bit of white meat filler. That homemade stock from yesterday, a little Italian seasoning. It's gonna be a simple one. All right, so for my carrots and my celery, I'm gonna cut them a little bigger than I normally do for my mirepoix, because they're gonna add not just a flavor element but a texture element. But for my onions, you don't want to bite into a huge chunk of onion, so I'm gonna still keep these relatively small. Obviously very inconsistent, but you know, when you're cooking for family, it's very forgiving. So like I said, with my carrots, I'm gonna leave them not big, but just a little more chunk to them, so that they'll provide a textural element. And again, none of this needs to be perfect. All right, then for your celery, you just want to take off the whites here. It's good for stock. And then, you know, I'm not a big celery guy, but this soup is for my wife, so I will cut them in, like I said, a little, with all this greenery, all these leaves, man, so much flavor, and they're tender, and it's just packed in the flavor, so you want to use those whenever you're doing a soup, especially like a slower cooking soup. All right, so I got my my Dutch oven, and start with some good olive oil. And then hit it with my carrot, celery, and onion. Now, I mean, honestly, we did the work already just now. That chopping, other than, you know, because I already pulled my chicken, but y'all know the story. I'm gonna hit this with salt. I'm gonna hit it with some black pepper. And we're just gonna cook these down for about 6 or 8 minutes. So I got this going. I got another pot of water over here going on high for my pasta. This is really good. Imported from Italy, great stuff. You should try it. All right, now here's what's different about the way I do my soup, and which y'all might think is a little weird. I cook my pasta separately. I then sort of toss it with olive oil, and when you make a pot of soup, you add your noodles to it, and then you put your broth with your meat and your veg over that. Otherwise, if you're using really good pasta, you're not using egg noodles or some shit, then it just absorbs and absorbs and absorbs until it becomes mush, and you lose all your liquid. But if you let it rest, and then you just put it in your bowl and ladle your soup over it, it's much better. Also, this is really good homemade chicken stock. That's the color you want your stock to look, unless you roast your vegetables in your carcass. But anyway, I've cooked that. I made this stock with thyme and bay leaf. So that's why I'm not adding a whole lot of herbs right now, but it's really, really good. I haven't salted it yet, because I want to be able to control the salt of whatever I cook it with. But if you salt it or put some soy sauce in it, it's good just to drink in a fucking mug. All right, now that these are softened, I'm going in with my stock. That's a quart of stock. And then I've got probably another pint here. I'm just gonna bring that up to temp. So I'm gonna add this chicken and this parsley at the very end. Man, I just love the freshness that parsley will bring to this. You know, I don't think I need quite that much, but yeah, you know, that chicken stock is rich. You know, I use, like I said, backbones and necks and stuff. It's super rich. And this is just gonna brighten it up, give it a little hint of lemony goodness. And it's just, I love parsley and all kinds of stuff. All right, so you want to salt your water heavily so it tastes like the ocean. That's the only way your pasta is going to be seasoned. Let this go for about 8 minutes. All right, so I gave this a taste, and I haven't even seasoned it with salt and pepper yet, and it's delicious. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go with a little bit of Italian seasoning. You could use herbe de Provence too. This just gives it a more rounded out, sort of slow cooked flavor. I'm also going to hit it with this restaurant grade soy sauce. And again, it's just going to provide some richness. Not going to go crazy with it. And then some salt. And some pepper. And we'll give it another taste. So when I add that seasoning, it's just, I mean, the flavor is jumping. Really good. I'm going to add my parsley. I'm going to add my chicken. Now if it turns out to be a little too thick, then I'll just add some of my pasta water. But we're just going to let this all heat through and then we'll kill it. Alright, so this is tasting incredible. Everything is warmed through, seasoned. I'm probably going to add a little bit of my pasta water, but not a whole lot. But I'm just going to go ahead and kill the heat on that. That way when you add your noodles, you'll have some broth left. There you have it, friends. That's how you do chicken noodle. Now, whenever my wife gets hungry, I'll show you how I plate it up. So for these guys, even though it's still in a strainer, I hit them with a little bit of olive oil because I don't want them to all stick together when we go to serve it, you know what I mean? Anyhow, so this is how we do it. Y'all could have figured this out on your own, but you get your noodles in there. Then you get you a nice, you stir it up a little bit, get her going. And boom. And there you have it, friends. Chicken noodle soup.